Politics first, only because there were some headlines today where you were on a podcast, or at least that was released today, saying that you are actively considering running for president.
Yeah, actively considering is an appropriate way to describe it. I'm looking at it, but I'd say the odds are strongly against it because my wife would divorce me. It's more a family issue than any other issue.
So put some chances on it.
No, I'd say that,
percentages.
90% it doesn't happen because family first.
But when you say you're thinking about it, what does that mean?
Meaning, based off of what's happening in the White House, based on what's happening in the country and in the world, I think we need better leadership. And I think I could do a better job. But there's a lot more to it than just thinking you can do a better job. And so I'm not ready to make the commitment.
What would be the tipping point if your wife came to you and said,
it's okay? That would be a tipping point, yes. And look, who knows what happens in the next 3+ years, right? And so if there's a better candidate and I believe that somebody else can do a better job, then I'm happy. It's not my, just to let them go forward. It's not my all-time dream to be president of the United States.
Kids, they want to do it?
My son, definitely. My middle daughter, probably. My oldest daughter, she only pays attention to boys and nothing else matters.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what is going on in Washington, which is the prospect of tax reform. You've seen the plan.
Right.
Your take?
Well, we haven't seen details, but look, it's structured based off a theory. So if I listen to Larry Kudlow, right, it's all theory, theory, theory. We live in an interactive age right now. We need to eliminate the theory. So first of all, if you really want to help middle-class workers or working-class families, you reduce the payroll taxes, right? Because payroll taxes is a tax on every hour that we work. Now, it still has to support Medicare, it still has to support Social Security, so you'd have to find it by eliminating deductions or some other way from the general fund. But if the goal is to increase wages, because they haven't really increased in 20 years, that's the way you do it. If part of the goal is to get not just money repatriated, but also to get companies to move here or stay here, then instead of just saying we're cutting our corporate tax rate to 20%, why not go to the Fortune 500, the CEOs? Why not go to the most profitable 5,000 companies? And in this interactive day and age, say, put it in your spreadsheet. If I get you this tax rate, 20%, I want a commitment that A, you're going to increase wages by X% for your hourly employees, and B, you're going to commit to whatever it is that we think is going to improve the economy the most, right? There's no reason to just base it off of theory anymore. Look, in the 60s, that's what you had to do. In the 80s, maybe, not any longer.
You know that you are not going to be able to get that commitment from a company.
Then what? Then what's the point of doing it?
Ostensibly, the idea is that the money will circle back and actually get into the economy, and then it will flow.
There's no such thing as ostensibly, right?
It's not my tax plan.
No, I understand. But, again, it's 2017 when we saw the Trump bump, right? It is ostensibly because someone ran the math. And the math is the math, right? If a company is going to have a true effective rate of 20% and they were at 25%, what are they going to do with the delta? How are they going to invest it? And if the goal is to increase wages and to increase investment, then get the commitment. If not, why give it to them?
So what do you think the rate should be? Corporate rate?
I haven't done all the math. I don't know. I really, really don't. I mean, it truly is an algorithmic problem, and I think you could run the math and figure it out.
Individual rate?
I don't think you need to raise or change the top rate. I wouldn't mind if it was raised, depending on the deductions. I would like to see it simplified. So I am a supporter of simplifying taxes because it shouldn't cost more money to do your taxes than what you pay in taxes.
You're a guy with a big estate. Should the estate tax exist or not?
It should exist. Yeah, because we need the money in the general fund. Period. End of story. If through eliminating tax deductions we're able to compensate for it, then that's a different issue. But again, look, there's a big pie, right? And we can't just depend on theory to grow that pie. We have to go and get commitments. Everybody who watches this show, they know how to use a spreadsheet, right? Tell us what you're going to do with the money.
I want to turn to sports since we don't have so much time with you. You saw what LeBron said. You saw what Steph said. You saw what the president said. You've seen what's happened at the NFL. Should the players stand? In the NBA.
In the NBA.
In the NBA. In your league, should they stand?
I'll tell you what I told my players, right? I think they should stand. I stand. I put my hand on their heart. Most of our guys do as well. We had a game last night. They all did. And I told them, look, when you just have a silent protest like that, you leave the narrative to everybody else. Rather than doing that, I'll put you in front of a camera. Say what's on your mind. What is the message you like to convey? And we'll show it to the fans. We'll show it, give it to the media. Let them show it to their viewers and listeners. We'll deal with the issue and control the medium. And we have foundations, and we get involved in all these causes, right? Let's talk about that and what we do. The NFL is in a different spot. right? If the Los Angeles Chargers, what teams they have here, or the Raiders, okay? If the Raiders walk by, you wouldn't recognize anybody that maybe Marshawn Lynch and Derek Carr, right? They don't have the same platform that the NBA players have. When the president says something, LeBron calls him a bum. LeBron had more followers than the president does. He has a bigger platform. NFL players, their only platform is when they're on the field, the cameras are on, and together they can convey a message. So it's completely different.
If LeBron were to take a knee, would you fine him?
That's up. Yeah, he would get fined because those are the rules. Because again, it's not like the NFL. The NFL player has no choice. LeBron, it'd be like, or any of my guys, or Mark Cuban, it'd be Mark. You have all these platforms. You have all these different ways to convey what it is that you have an issue with. Say what's on your mind. Because the good thing about the NBA, we'll let you say what's on your mind.